Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music, and today we're looking at a real nice collection, not a big collection, a real nice collection of pickups I got recently. It's been a little bit since I've done one of those videos, and I thought, I've got a busy life coming up. I got a couple things on the go, some other YouTube related projects too, but I've had some really cool pickups that I'm really excited about, so I wanted to share that with you. It's a couple records and a couple CDs, but all really good stuff that I'm happy to delve into. So the first one, it's out of its little slipcase because it's actually on the turntable right now. This is Eye in the Sky by the Alan Parsons Project. Can't tell on camera. It's got a nice embossed cover there. I'll show back as well. There you go. Alan Parsons Project, Alan Parsons in general, fantastic producer, great songwriter. I think, a lot of people skip it because they think it's so poppy. I think Steven Wilson actually gets a lot of the same kind of flack, thinking, they've got progressive origins and anything that wasn't progressive rock is terrible. I think Alan Parsons marries the two really well together. This album is one of those ones where you still get some of that prog element, but more and more we're going into the pop world, and it comes across really well on that record. One of my favorites of the catalog. I've almost got everything physically. I'm just missing Gaudi, the last album, and Ammonia Avenue, I think is the name of the album. I've never bothered to stream that album yet either, so I haven't heard that one. But I've got almost all the other ones, and I really enjoy pretty much everything I do have. This next one, I found it at a local record store. It was for a pretty good price. I scooped it right up. This is Refugee, their one and only album. First of all, shout out to the outfits there. Everyone a banger. Um, Fantastic trio you can see there. So who's in it? Yeah, Patrick Moraz. A lot of people will know from being a keyboard player in Yes before Rick Wakeman came on. Or that's a lie. Sorry. Later, he had the one album with in Relayer. That's who we're talking about. Then you have Lee Jackson and Brian Davison from The Nice. What do you got on here? You have really bombastic, really fantastic symphonic prog. I love keyboards in my prog rock, and if that's you, if you're into those sorts of extended instrumental suites, there are vocals on this album, but there's a lot of instrumental passages as well. And if that's for you, check this out. It's a one and done album, Refugee. They only had one album. I believe they had a live album as well. This is just such a great album. Like there's only three songs per side. They're all fantastic. Just start to finish, amazing album, amazing album. Next up, we got three CDs on here. This is a thrifting find. This is Sam Roberts' The Inhuman Condition. Now, this isn't an album. This was his debut EP, but it actually got a lot of airplay. Notably, it contains the hits, what would become his hits from this EP, Don't Walk Away, Eileen, and Brother Down. It also has Where Have All the Good People Gone? Those are all great songs, and they do sound different enough. They're very, very similar to how they appear on the debut album, but they are slightly different here. A little more power poppy, I'd say. But then you get some songs that don't appear. You got When Everything Was All Right, which I really like, a nice little power pop number. My Love Is Freeing, which is an okay ballad. I do see why you kind of need a come down track on an EP. And then This Is How I Live, which is probably the most kind of Brit rocky track on here. So um, if you're into sort of that, turn of the millennium Canadiana rock, this is a fun EP to have, right? Sam Roberts, a musician I enjoy, I like a lot, and just seems I find his stuff while thrifting, so I'm slowly just picking up that discography. But good EP, debut EP. There you go. Shut the back. There. Next up, one of my favorite albums by this artist. But if you don't know, you don't know. But if you do know, if you know, you know. This is The Sky Moves Sideways by Porcupine Tree. This is a 2-disc edition. We'll just show off the inside cover there. Get a little info about the band. You got some more artwork. You got your 2 discs. So this is before we get into what this album is. We got disc 1, which is the album proper. CD 2 has Sky Moves Sideways alternative version. Stars Die, Moonloop as an improvisational piece, and then Moonloop as a coda piece. Now, this was kind of manifested by Steven Wilson as one of the first recordings of Porcupine Tree as a band, as opposed to a solo project by Steven Wilson. And it just really captures that early kind of Floyd psychedelia in a really ambient way. It's not heavy or aggressive. It just captures a lot of, if you're really into a lot of the more Gilmoreism side of Pink Floyd, like I am, I think you'll really, or the Richard Wright stuff. I think you'll really enjoy this album. My favorite in the early Porcupine Tree catalog. I think obviously they get a little more alternative rocky for a bit, and then he goes kind of alternative prog with in absentia stuff like that. And then we get maybe metal influences in the later stuff, certainly. But this is a great album. One of my top five, certainly in the Porcupine Tree catalog. I'm happy to have this edition of it. And finally, I think this is one of those artists that, should you find it in vinyl, that's the way to own it. But it's difficult for a lot of kind of classic jazz artists or musicians to have those vinyl records unless you know exactly what to look for and how to look for it. I'm a newbie when it comes to that, so I don't. So I picked up this compilation here. This is Django Reinhardt, the absolutely essential 3D CD collection. Each CD is 20 tracks, so that's 60 tracks of Django Reinhardt, or jazz manouche or gypsy jazz, as it was called as well. It's just that French style Parisian cafe. You got the awesome guitar work, but some tracks have vocals, some tracks have violin, some tracks have like a piano, stuff like that. It's just great. You can picture yourself, along the boardwalk, people watching with your really terrible French coffee while you watch, and gesticulate wildly, thinking about philosophy or whatever. Um, just a fantastic album. Obviously, I really do appreciate listening to albums in their context, and things like greatest hits or collections kind of remove it from that. But for artists like this, this is certainly a way to at least get your fill of the physical media of that artist, get your appreciation. Unfortunately, I didn't grab a version that has any kind of bonus information. You just have, your CDs and your track listing and CDs. Um, but it's one of those things where if you want more, you can get more. Otherwise, you have 60 tracks here. It's a great collection. So there you go. Those are my recent pickups. Nothing too fancy, but all things I'm really happy about. Got some great prog, got some great pop, got some jazz, got some Canadian rock. It's awesome. And I hope you're doing awesome because I'm doing pretty awesome too. So comments below, comment awesome, comment if you're doing awesome, and I'll catch you next time.